So the book that I'm currently reading is about a pitcher named John Smoltz. And the book's called Starting and Closing, and it talks about the career of John Smoltz, who was a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, who at one point in his career started games and then moved to the closer, and also came back to the starter. In 1996, he reached the highest point that any pitcher can reach in baseball and won the Cy Young Award. This book is written from his perspective. Talks about events he went through as he was younger, got older, made it to the major leagues, faced injuries and other different types of adversity, and how he overcame them. And we'll pick this up in chapter 3. So you say I've got a chance. Wow, I don't feel that bad. That was my first thought as I opened my eyes and started to come to after undergoing arthroscopic shoulder surgery on June 10, 2008. I had literally just started to wake up and take note of my surroundings, and almost on cue, a nurse came in the room. Her eyes scanned the room as she approached the bed, visually inspecting my IV and the various monitors I was hooked up to. Then she sort of mechanically grabbed my arm to read my bracelet as she said, "Name, please." I looked at her, at this busy lady who obviously meant business, and said slyly, "Bond. James Bond." The nurse was not in any way amused. Beyond an almost inaudible sigh, she did not react at all. She just repeated her question, more emphatically this time, like she was speaking to a misbehaving adolescent boy. "Name, please." Meanwhile, my brother Mike, out of respect to the nurse, was trying like heck to bottle up his reaction. There we were, snickering like two school kids, literally moments after I had just come out of anesthesia from a surgery that could very well mean the end of my baseball career. It was such a unique thing in so many ways because I never woke up in a good mood. This was the fifth surgery of my career, and in the past I had notoriously woken up in an awful state, sick to my stomach more often than not, and just feeling downright miserable. I took my mood now as my first good omen in the long and winding journey that I hoped would lead me back to the mound. Dr. Joe Chandler, the Atlanta Braves team physician and an orthopedic surgeon, came in next. He had traveled all the way down to Birmingham, Alabama to collaborate with and assist Dr. James Andrews, the orthopedic surgeon who performed the operation. At this point in my career, Dr. Chandler was much more than my doctor. With all the injuries we had been through together since we both joined the Atlanta Braves in 1987, our relationship had grown beyond baseball, and we had become to share in each other's joys and walk through the struggles of daily life. He was in many ways more like a second father than just my doctor. I knew the man, and he knew me, and he knew what I wanted to know before I asked the questions. "Well, what do you think?" I said as soon as he entered the room. Dr. Chandler walked over to the bed and started hemming and hawing. I mean, he was talking, but not really saying anything. It was a whole lot of, "Well, you know, I mean," I'm like, "Come on, just hit me with it. Give it to me straight. Do I have a chance?" And I'll never forget this. He said, very cautiously, as if as if the measured pace of the words would help me grasp the true reality of the situation. "We think with the way you work out and the way you rehab, we think you've got a chance." In all reality, that probably meant you don't have a chance. But he went on to explain to me that when they opened up my shoulder, my labrum, which basically works like a rubber gasket surrounding your socket and keeping your shoulder in place, looked like hamburger meat. They knew it was going to be bad, but it was far worse than ever they had expected. It took 9 anchors to basically tack my labrum back into place, the most Dr. Andrews remembered using, with the exception of the surgery he had performed on NFL quarterback Drew Brees. I listened to everything he had to say, but I had already heard all I needed to hear. "So you're telling me I've got a chance?" I'm telling you, it was a scene straight out of Dumb and Dumber.